one thing that can benefit all filmmakers is going to film events, with the main reason that you can find work and people to network with. But not only that, you also screen some of your own films and receive feedback yourself. Pretty much it is a win-win. So that is why today I'm going to share my experiences and tell you where you can find events you can go to. Alright, so the main hotspot where you can find film events is university. There's this thing at my university pretty much where every Thursday there's some sort of event. For example, in like a couple of weeks, there's going to be an event where people are going to get only 48 hours in order to make a short film. And the Thursday, they're going to announce the details and all that stuff. Then I believe this Thursday, there's actually a competition for a Coca-Cola ad where pretty much film students are going to have to make an actual Coca-Cola ad that's going to be on screen for audiences in actual theaters. There's also a screening of movies. I remember like last year, I believe, there was like a screening for the Fallout show. They would do the screening of the show and then they will have like a discussion about it. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is that college is a good place where you can find a lot of film events because that's what they specialize. If they don't do events for film, then what's the point? You have to have a college where it can deliver, where it could give events like this. It could also have good professors. You know, you should also study that professor's background, see the type of work they've done before, and see if you're a fan of it. Ask for advice in aspects that you like, and just have a connection with the professors because the professors are most likely going to be the ones who are going to make these events. And if you have a close relationship to them, not only can they give you feedback on your films, but they can also help you find a job in the future. Or who knows, maybe they might work for you. I actually know some professors who work on student films, and I think that's really cool because, you know, they have like lots of experience, they have like lots of time filmmaking, and you know, having them take the time to work on student films is really fascinating. Like with the skills that, you know, assuming your professors are like good professors, like assuming they're good, they could probably make a lot more money. But the fact that they rather do student films instead is really applauding, and I doubt that my professors are watching this, but I really can't thank them enough for everything they've done for me. Even though I haven't had that big of a connection with them, I still would like to thank them. For my college, we have like a ceremony for, this is like every year, but we have like a ceremony where the professors are introduced to like all of the film students, and also the events for like the whole year are announced. This event is really cool when it comes to networking because you're put in a room where everyone's a filmmaker. This event, it's all for the film students. It's really easy for you to have a conversation. I remember on that day, I was sitting at the table with like a bunch of strangers, and we just got into a conversation about films that we've made before, our favorite movies, and sometimes you can meet good people, nice people, and sometimes you can meet people who don't give a shit. But you know, meeting people is also part of the experience. It's also something that you should look forward to when it comes to film events. Film is a teamwork based job, and having a better connection with your coworkers is always a good thing. So that's why you should always prioritize socializing and meeting new people, because those people could be your future coworkers. And then there's the school trips. I'm just like listing off everything that you get if you do go to college, but there's school field trips. This counts as events. I've only gone to one field trip in my university, and this was the screening for a movie called Joyride. This was my first ever film screening, and it was amazing. I mean, not the movie itself, but the whole experience in general, because we get to see like the first time announcements of like certain films. I remember they announced Saw X for the first time there. Like they showed the first trailer for the new Hunger Games movie, which I didn't see, but I thought it was cool that I was the first one that got to see it. I remember the excitement too. I remember like, you know, on my way back to school, like on the bus ride back, I remember just going on YouTube and seeing that while I was watching the trailer, that was the same time where the trailer was released. Like I was one of the first people who saw it, and that felt really cool. When it comes to the actual film itself, yeah, it was cool that I was the first one to see it, but it was more of a movie for girls, Joyride. But like the whole experience was just like a lot of fun, and I would do it again. My dream, if there's any justice in the world, my goal is going to be to go to the Beyond the Spider-Verse screening. That is my goal. I will make that a reality one day, but as of right now, I don't know when the movie's coming out and I don't know where it's going to be screened, but I will do it. And I would assume that a lot of screenings will most likely happen in cities where movies are really popular. This would include, of course, Las Vegas and LA and New York. So if you want to go to film events like this, I would assume that, you know, I know Las Vegas has like a lot of film events like this, but most likely LA and New York are going to have them because that's the hotspot for films. But if you don't live in these cities, then the next best thing would be to save up money to go on a trip to these events. This would be the more expensive option, but you gotta do what you gotta do in order to have these experiences, in order to go to these events, in order to network. You know, you have to think about if the money that you spent on going there is gonna be a good return on investment. If it is, great, but you know, you have to make sure you do your research if the event that you're gonna go to is worth it. In order to find these events, I recommend using Eventbrite. You're not probably gonna really find events that like are really popular in this website, but Eventbrite is mostly used when it comes to events that are more in your area. So I recommend that. I also just recommend searching up events in general, like film events in general, screenings. Once again, the best way to find these events, I would say, is through people. Professors was how I found these events. It's gonna be a lot more harder if you try doing it by yourself. So I always suggest ask around, ask other people. I will say that going to film screenings though, it's a good way to network with others because you can easily make conversation. You can just like talk about the movie itself, the movie that you guys watched, share your opinions, and then, you know, this could eventually lead to your experiences. Like you can share your experience making films, and then they can share theirs, and then you guys can network, work with each other, make a film. But one of the events that I do regret I could have taken more advantage of was when I went to NAB. NAB is an event where it is about filmmaking, but it's more about the filmmaking equipment. I remember seeing like cranes. I remember seeing like this new feature that a lot of films have been using where there's like a screen in the background, and the screen on the back is supposed to project the environment in which the character is on. I've seen the Mandalorian use it. I've seen the Batman use it. There was a lot of that in that event. There's also a lot of lights that was used, types of cameras, AI. Yeah, people were really fascinating about AI and how it was being used. Yeah, it was just like a technical aspect of it, and I could have gotten more out of it. I could have gone up to people, asked questions, interviewed people, but I wasn't really prepared for it. Our professor was like, okay, you're going to this event. It was like really sudden. You're going to this event for a grade. This is what I mean. Like, film school forces you to do stuff that you wouldn't do, and I got it for free, and of course it was nice going into it free, but I wish I could have had like more time to prepare for it. It was more of like a last minute thing, and I really didn't get to take advantage of as much as I wanted to. So I recommend that whenever you do go to a film event, make sure you have like some sort of plan, questions you're gonna ask people, places you wanna go, why you're gonna go to them, and just make sure you overall level up your filmmaking skills by going into these events, because that's what they're for, to make you a better filmmaker and also network. Mostly networking, but you can also like learn something out of it. Lastly, I recommend going to awards ceremony. This is more likely hard to find because awards ceremony are usually ones that you're gonna be invited to. You're probably not gonna, you can't just like walk up in there and be like, hey guys, I worked on something, I'm invited. Like, no, you're probably gonna, it's not something that you pay and go. And for me, I'm lucky enough that there's like an award ceremony every year in my school where the best films presented by students get awards. Actually, the awards go up to like $5,000, and I think it's really cool, and everybody's invited to it. I went to it once, and it was really inspirational seeing how people have made great films, how people like appreciate the art of filmmaking. It's all really cool and inspiring. And remember, we got a guest speaker. It was the voice actor for Zuko from Avatar, like the voice actor. He went up and gave a speech about how, you know, about creativity, art, you know, just try to motivate us, say motivational stuff to get us to keep going. It was cool seeing people recognize other people's work and also socializing as well. I remember I met someone there, an actor. He gave me acting tips. It was a lot of fun. So if possible, I recommend you try to search for award ceremony. You can also like talk about the films that they made and, you know, what they could have done different, their experience, because it's supposed to be like a graduation ceremony, the one that I went to. So, you know, it's really easy to just make conversations about film in general. Just make sure you're legally there though. Don't sneak into there if you're not allowed to, because like, what's the point of that? There's no, like, you shouldn't get in trouble over something silly as this. Come on. So yeah, with that, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new or if you like my channel. And always remember to live your life like there's no tomorrow.